The development teams are in both North and South. They have a number of different roles. Grand Council members often opt to become planners for Grand Council residentials, which take place 4 times a year. The development workers work with them to help give them the skills and help them to schedule events at those large Grand Council residentials. So the planners will look at what they've done in the past, events that they've liked, events that they haven't liked, how they would like this to run. We look at participation standards and they decide what they need to do to fulfil those participation standards at this event. They then schedule the event and then work out where we have outside speakers coming in, or they can hand over to somebody else to run a specialist session.
So basically you're going, what's funky, you tell them that, then you're going, what's mountain workers, you tell them that, what's riot, you tell them that, and then there's a break.
But when you say you tell them that, it's not going to be too much. If you say the first bit's 45 minutes,
but is it all going to sink in? That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's see what else there is and then see if we can adjust it around, shall we?
And then they decide amongst the sessions that they can develop workshops for, how they're going to develop those workshops and run them.
You know the break? Are you saying there's a break? And is he saying it for 20 minutes?
Or are you
saying for 15 minutes?
Break.
Because if you say for 15, they'll be back then for like the 20 minutes. Does that sound like a plan?
What's that? Yeah.
So like say they've got 15 minutes break, but they've actually got 20 minutes, but they'll be back then, hopefully in time.
As well as being there to support Grand Council members in terms of planning residentials, they have some outreach roles where our development workers work with groups, school groups, youth groups, particularly hard to reach groups, where they deliver training, accredited training on active citizenship, non-accredited training on active citizenship issues. Sometimes they'll organise more creative training based around children's rights and citizenship. Some of those will take the form of film projects, art projects, things like T-shirt making, devising wall hangings and so on, and even music.
A project that's gone really well for me as a development worker is a project called the Torfaen Young Carers.
Hello and welcome to the Torfaen Young Carers video.
The funding had been cut in the authority for the young carers, the provision had changed. So the worker who was now in charge had contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested to go out and do some work with them around establishing a forum.
A young carer is someone who helps out with family.
During my time there, we actually created a DVD. The young people come up with an idea of about what the life is like for them as young carers.
Making sure that people are out of bed in the morning, putting people to bed, and then my mum making sure she's taking medication, you know, keep checking that she's okay, helping around, stuff like that.
I stop them from biting. I help them out when they need to get dressed. I help them like on the computer. I do chores helping them with the shower sometimes, like doing dishes, cleaning. I calm them down when they're sad or angry. I stop them running away.
Normally I get some money out the bank, you know, for mum, and I cook food, very good at Italian food, and normally I run the bath for her, and mostly I just hoover the living room and clean up, I don't know, around the table or something.
We actually held an event as well within Torfaen, and the leader of the council was there and the head of social services for Torfaen, and it was a big success. They showcased the DVD, and from that whole process, a young person, a young carer who went to a youth club for young carers, got involved in the youth forum for young carers, who then got involved in actually Torfaen Youth Forum, and then was recently elected to be a Funky Dragon representative on our Grand Council. So it was quite a varied but really good project.
Both teams have targets to reach in terms of engaging new young people in active citizenship work. At the moment, I think we've worked with about 450 new young people since January, and that has to be for a meaningful intervention in the range of sort of 7 to 15 hours, really, with each.
Been learning about the UNCRC participation, how to be an effective youth forum, what a youth forum is, and consultation skills. They can get their ACU qualification, they can get a level 2 in how to be an effective youth forum representative, and they can gain loads of knowledge about like all the different topics that have been brought up today, and it will like help them then like later on, like say they want to get into university or certain jobs they want. Loads more confidence, and I've like learned how to work in a team a lot better. I've made loads of new friends. My notifications on Facebook haven't stopped because of it.
We have some workshops which are specifically about political awareness and about how government in Wales works and so on, and the relationship between local authorities, Welsh Government and the UK Government and so on. We have others which talk about active citizenship, so they look at what do you like in your community, what would you like to change in your community, and then go about looking at steps and how to make that happen. Some of them will get accredited learning if they choose to take the accredited route, and for some of those young people, particularly those at risk, that those may be the certificates that they come away from their time in education with. In the earlier part of this year, development workers were working with the steering group for FUNC, looking at the questions they want to ask and looking at how they could turn those into research tools or activities, focus group questions and so on to go out and ask other young people. They completed that during the summer, and since then they have actually been going out and collecting the data from groups of young people. They're in the middle of writing those things up and then keeping in touch with the steering group on Facebook to let them know where they're carrying out that kind of research at any one time, so that involvement in terms of steering and in terms of steering the project remains very high.